Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to yet another awesome medieval city builder, this time known as Bastide. You've seen this game before on the channel back in 2020, and again earlier in 2019, where the game initially got started, got some great updates, and I kind of forgot about until recently. This wonderful little medieval city builder also allows you to build defenses and also go to war with a neighboring faction, which we can find over here. Some bandits and some other people will eventually continuously pop out of this cabin. They'll build some more buildings, and you may as well kind of consider them to be like Viking raiders or something like that, as we kind of try to defend ourselves during this, well, tumultuous time. It's good to see you all here. Thank you very much for subscribing and turning on the notification bell. Also, smashing like and becoming members too, so that way you can take advantage of all those awesome perks and stuff down below in the comments section. Don't forget about them and show them off. Folks, we have a lot to do here in today's episode. Over on the left side, a lot of recommendations from the game in order to get started, or at least things that we should have done, but definitely not done at the start. The best way to think about this game is essentially like Banished, of course, meets also a little bit of Medieval Dynasty, and of course, Ostriv, another wonderful city builder, although taking place sometime out of the medieval era in the 1700s. This game, too, also allows us to industrialize and build lots of defenses and all sorts of other things that other games don't have. So, just like with Banished, it's good for us to start with a gatherer's hut and making firewood and such, so we're going to start with that right away. We'll do a gatherer, so that way mushrooms and berries and such can be gathered and brought in for the season, and also firewood too. Now, right now it's April, so we have the whole year to kind of gather things and get ready with firewood. I'm going to go ahead and put our gatherer's hut over here, so that way they can start gathering all the stuff we need. And we can also designate in this game animals, for example, like this boar here, to be hunted for meat, or certain animals to be domesticated. Like, for example, this sheep. Yeah, we can hunt or domesticate the sheep to eventually make clothing at the tailor. The other thing we want to do is try to start with firewood as well, so we're going to go ahead and put that near our warehouse. These three buildings are starting, so these three, the warehouse and the wooden house and the thatched hut, allow us to have our 6 population. We only have 6 people in the town, so things are going to be a little slow. And eventually, when our city gets a little bigger, we can build a dock down here too, so we can export our goods. Now, there's somewhere we can build it, and we can import and export stuff, and eventually build a large port town. But for now, these are our humble beginnings until the enemy finds us. So we better get started. Hopefully, they don't find us for a few months. So let's unpause time, and let's get our people started. We're also going to build ourselves a logging camp too, a forester, which will cut down and also plant trees for us. So we're going to kind of lay out where everything goes. We're also going to try to build ourselves a cart. If we build ourselves a cart, just like how it is in Ostriv, our people will be able to bring goods to where they need to go faster. So we're going to ask somebody to start construction on that one, wherever that may be. There it is. Kind of spendy with 5 wood, but definitely a requirement. Otherwise, everybody's got to carry each of those logs over there one by one. It's going to be tedious, so we're going to try to put down a cart or 2, so that way construction materials can be brought to where they need to go. Additionally, in this game, there's a lot of industrial buildings in this game too. We can make candles, we can brew beer and ale and ciders. We have also orchards that we can build, and also the ability to make medicine through the herbalist, or rather, I guess we can make a find herbs out in the field with the gatherer, but we can also grow them and then have them turned into medicine at the healer's hut, who can then treat anybody who might be having a bad day. We're also going to put down another cart too, and so that way multiple people can work them. We can put down pathways if we want to. We can also put pathways through the town, and of course, the smaller the town, or the more tightly knit the town, the better, because we'll have an advantage of putting out fires, because people will have less of a distance to go, although it could also spell doom for it spreading faster too. Kind of a double-edged sword. We also, of course, have the ability to travel faster from workplace to workplace, so our people would be able to get from home to their workplace faster and not spend months on the road, as we all did in Banished, of course. Making roads too long, people would literally die on the commute to their job. And just like in Banished 2, we don't want to make the mistake of not producing the right things, so that's why we're starting with the Gatherer's Hut. But the last thing we want to do, too, is to build a wall around our city that's going to be nice and condensed. But going back to what I said about everybody building stuff, we're going to see some materials now delivered to this construction site, and the gatherer with 8 stone and 12 wood will then be able to be constructed, and we'll be able to assign somebody to that. Same with Banished and many other games, including Life is Feudal Forest Village and many other games that you've seen on the channel. We can indicate trees to be cut down, stone to be mined up, and we can also build a mine into the mountain to kind of carve out our way to stone, copper, and iron. Then we can start turning those into tools and weapons at the blacksmith. Now, if you love games like Medieval Dynasty or if you love Banished, make sure you subscribe to the channel too for other games that I highly recommend. Again, going back to mention games like Ostriv and also Foundation, which is another wonderful little medieval game. This one, though, I think appeals to me a little bit more because it's kind of a more realistic and also a brutal game. Some of the difficulties can go up to brutal. And in this map right here that we see, this is a handcrafted map from the developers. That the other maps can be procedurally generated, although to not as much quality. They do look just fine, but you'll get various degrees of massive canyons with a river at the bottom to massive lakes with you starting in a corner. It's experimental, and they're working on it. And that's why we're back again for this game, as the developers are continuously making improvements to their game and taking more and more advantage of feedback to give everybody what they've really wanted and what they've been looking for in these types of changes and updates. So that's great. And I'm happy to see it. Not to mention we can build defenses. Other games can say you can build defenses too, like Foundation. But this game combines the awesome city building of Ostriv and also some things of Foundation with the job setup and also Banished. But of course, with a little bit more of defenses. Even in games like Medieval Dynasty, you're not allowed to... well, you can build defenses, but nobody's ever going to attack them. There's bandits, and, of course, that'll come along the road, but a little different for a game like this. All right, the Gatherer's Hut looking quite nice. Very nice. Wow, they're going to live out here, so I guess it's a home and a business all in one. The ladies got everything they needed delivered via the cart. They gathered up all the stone, and that saved us a ton of time, so that was a good thing to call out. And it looks like the Forester building is probably being constructed as well. There's going to be somebody over here shortly. Now, with only 6 people in our city, we definitely want to minimize the amount of people actually doing their job for now. And once the Gather is complete, I believe 1 person can work there. So that'll bring us down to 5 people in construction, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not because, of course, they're also going to be transporting a lot of goods around. And, of course, they need to go in to eat and drink and things like that. Now, if you direct your attention to the top of the screen, you'll also see that we have many other materials to keep track of too, and things also not listed there. For example, at the bottom, the Gatherer that can gather herb and cloth, berry, mushroom, and feathers for arrows, for example, but also the more important goods such as wood and stone, timber, and cut stone, and then eventually firewood, which can be made at that firewood building that we've asked to be constructed too, that they're also working on. Excellent work, everybody. Very good to see the village jump into life like that. Excellent. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can make outside of that, including clothing. That's not just clothing, but also like clothes that they wear and shoes too. And then of course different types of alcohol with mead, wine, and beer being on the menu, boys, and animal fat, and of course durable tools and other things that we can make later. But the first year's got to be about setting up for surviving the winter. We need to have ourselves enough food and enough firewood and enough, of course, housing for everybody. So that's going to be important. Right now, we do have 1 more slot for somebody to move in. But let's go ahead and maybe build another wooden house. It's probably going to be more expensive. Oh, we need 25 planks. So we should probably go with something like the thatched house. Let's see. Chilly and a little comfort. So yeah, the thatched hut would be a little bit better of a move for us for giving more happiness to our people. And of course, happiness means that they'll have babies. Now, I think in this game, people will maybe possibly... come to your island from, kind of like arriving via boat. We can, of course, have babies and set policies in this game. On the right side, there's a laws section. So there might be an option for things like that, things like food rationing, limiting alcohol consumption, adjusting taxes, or working on the farming policies or bread policies too. Like, for example, we can go ahead and focus on more bread production, and of course that increases the mill speed and the bakery speed. And that'll help us out too, as well as monitoring everybody's jobs and whether or not they have tools. Now, right now we have 6 tools for our 6 people. We are eventually going to have to build more things. Some jobs might not require tools, maybe like, for example, working at the pasture, because of course you're just like throwing out, I don't know, grain or something for the chickens. But most jobs, like for example the fisherman or the hunter or even the logger and the firewood maker, are definitely going to require a lot of that. 28 firewood is what we have now. Look at the amount of buildings in this game too. Of course, there's a tailor and a blacksmith warehouse that you've seen down there before, the brewery, a tavern, a church, herbalist, and of course military buildings too, like barracks, which once built, the troops will then go on a patrol around that, and the watchtower and wood walls can work hand in hand, where the wall can keep the enemy out. You can then put the watchtowers near a gate and keep command of everything. And also something called a pillory, that is stockade, basically, for criminals, people who have caused trouble in your town. Going back to the Viking Raiders, it looks like their forces may be growing. Look at this. Looks like 2, 4, 6, 8 or so people. Now, I forgot to mention a very important game that you may have seen before on the channel too, Dawn of Man. That is probably the closest that this comes to in terms of preparing for defenses, where you need to put up walls, give your troops weaponry, and then, of course, well, withstand from wave after wave of attacks. I think it is possible for us to eventually give our troops command and go out and eliminate the enemy out there at their own base, but it's going to take some time. I don't know if we get direct command of them, but it definitely is something that we want to kind of keep everybody here as long as we can. Look at how these buildings are constructed in phases like this. This game has been making some really good strides. I got to hand it to the dev and throw out a little bit of an applause because, man, things have been crazy. I don't know if you know. I don't know what you've been up to lately, but things have been absolutely insane over the last few years. Global, whatnots, and, who doing what. That dessert that little meal from Canada, what is it, poutine, going into that other place that he's not supposed to. Stop it. But anyway, it's great that we're still having games being developed, and especially a lot of those devs being affected by those things too. For example, a game that's near and dear to my heart, and it's impossible not to mention Austria, taking place in the Ukraine in the 1700s. All these games in the Neolithic era or the Renaissance era, or in this case more medieval era, are all made from people from all over the world. So it's great to see, especially this team, listening to feedback and taking everything in stride and making a much better game than what they had in the future. I think I played this game early 20, maybe it was 19, and it was okay. And coming back a year later in 2020 in the summer, it made some good improvements. But here I'm really starting to see some nice diversity. Fishermen's huts, hunters' huts, orchards, apiaries, of course, so we can make mead and get beeswax for candles and things. That's what I want to see from a medieval game. And I really want games like Foundation and Ostriv and Dawn of Man and this game and many others, including the Strongholds series, all kind of mixed together into the ultimate builder. And of course, Manor Lords is coming soon too. And at this point, if you're listening and you know of any other builder games that we have not yet showcased on the channel, or if you've not yet seen, make sure you check back on the channel to see if I played it. Give me a suggestion down below. Of course, even the other game that we played on the channel as well, called, not Dawn of Man, but what is that one where it's also Ancient Civilizations? I forget already. Ancient City Builder? Ancient Cities? That's what it was. Ancient Cities, yeah. Viking City Builder. Many more coming, too. So definitely worth your time to subscribe and keep an eye on them. And then compare and contrast all of these games, too. It can be quite hard to decide which ones you like the most, with all sorts of things going on. Wow, get it, girl. Is that a lady there? Oh, yeah. Wow, kicking ass with the log in here. Good thing that we built the Forester, or rather the firewood cutter next to the warehouse, because, man, they can cut wood all day. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and shut that down for now until we get a little closer to the winter, just because I don't want to use up all the wood for now, and see if we can construct something else. Food is now up from 45 to 55. Luckily, we're getting mushrooms, we're getting cloth. That's great. We can try to do something with the tailor. I'm going to try to put down a hunting hut next, too. Look at this building, though. The mill. Gorgeous-looking medieval-style buildings. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the bakery, of course. We can then use, depending on what we can grow in the farm fields, we can take wheat or oat or whatnot and turn it into a flour, and or make different types of baked goods here too. Maybe we can take berries and other things and make pies. I'm not sure of everything that's here, but it's definitely good to see. There's also some great options to be able to give your people orders, like, for example, the ability to see all the animals, just like how it is in Dawn of Man. You can highlight everything and give your people orders on whether or not to hunt a deer or to go capture something, like, for example, this chicken, and then we can put it into a coop later. And then, of course, we can also upgrade paths to stone and whatnot later and make, all sorts of improvements to the town. including cemeteries and things like that as well. And it reduces happiness loss caused by death if we build that too. So everything's not necessarily decorative, but also has a bonus for doing it, which is great. All right, let's turn off the animal highlight. I want to make sure we've got the forester working. So what I've realized in this game is when the sun goes down, a month is about to pass. This game, it is 8:56 in April. In the morning, it will then be a beautiful May 1st, essentially. So every time that there's a kind of a 24-hour period, it simulates a month passing. So it seems right for 30 days, right, to build a road, some buildings, to get some more people in here. Actually, now we're up to 8 since we built another structure, so we have room for one more. So that's fantastic. So we can get more people working. I'm going to then go ahead and order our people to probably have another woodcutter. That's going to be the biggest thing to slow us down. Would be wood, lack of wood production, and also the lack of people to do the job. So I'm going to build another forester here, even though we don't have the wood to build it. But I think 12 wood to invest in there is going to be incredibly important. So we're getting some basic food from the gatherer. We built another house. We got some more people here. The next thing to do is to build that then. Let's go ahead and check out those Vikings, huh? How are they doing? Oh, they're running around. I can hear them. Wow, look at the lighting in the game, though. Looking really good. And the waves looking pretty nice, too. I've seen better, but, you know, there's an attempt, and it's not bad. It's definitely better than what I could do. That's for sure. Looking good, though. Love seeing the giant boat area. Would be really cool, or the beach area. I just had a thought about boats. It would be really cool if instead of an enemy village that you had to defend against, maybe there was a marker on the beach, and you'd know that every 10 years or something, a Viking invasion would come in like it does in Kingdoms and Castles. Another fantastic and wonderful little survival builder where you're trying to survive wave after wave of attack. Similar to this, it does have that kind of wave after wave attack vibe to it. All right, we're completely out of wood. I still see some white stones here and some iron ore. Of course, we can get more stone if we open up a mine. So I guess we could plop that stuff down. Some things are free in this game. Like, for example, the mine costs 15 wood and 5 stone. But if we go to put down a farm field, it's essentially free. We just need to designate where the people are going to work, and they'll go and work at ASAP. We're going to go ahead and indicate some trees to cut down manually and see if the people who are unemployed will do that. The good thing about them cutting down these trees is that it gives us a little bit more room to build our village, and we don't have to wait as long for the second building to go up. But these trees are not going to regrow very quickly unless we have a forester. Trees around the forester are the ones that regrow faster, and since trees are incredibly important in this game for warmth, for cooking, for pretty much everything, wood is king here. We definitely want to make sure we make as much of that in the short amount of time that we have. Now, barracks and also, like, for example, dealing with crime and defending ourselves is going to probably be a much later thing to do once we've gotten enough food and enough clothing and such to be produced. What the hell is this? Oh, I didn't mean... Oh, that was a misclick. My bad. Yeah, refund. Sorry. I'm sorry. Take those materials back. My bad. No wonder we ran out. My bad. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a blueprint mode. I'm glad I clicked, actually. I think I thought I deselected the mill because I didn't have enough material to build it. And it looks like they actually tried to build it once they did. So they put their materials towards that. Well, that's a good thing to know then. Although it's very difficult, I will say, in this game to tell whether or not you've put a building somewhere, as there's not really much of a highlight for it. All right, well, we're completely out of food now. Total food is zeroed out. We have 8 people in the city. We gathered a ton of food. We're going to need to slow down time then and see if we can get some more people on hunting and or gathering food. So let's do that. Wow, so we had a gatherer, and they zeroed out the food. I can't believe that. What was that, like 60 food that we had? Now, to be fair, that's over the course of a month, but my goodness. Imagine if we had done what they said and started with a pasture. Not a pasture, that'd be building a church. No, we started with a pasture. Yeah, that's a different thing. Let's go with the hunter then. Where's that building? Herbalist, church, tavern, brewery. It should be... Well. Oh, that's a well. Let's see. Cart, tannery, cemetery, cobbler. Where is that hunter building? Do we have access to one? I swear I saw one. Ah, here it is. In agricultural. interesting enough. That's weird. Kind of weird to see them put that in the agricultural tab rather than the, or agriculture tab rather than the, I don't know, the industrial tab. Looks like we also have a fisherman's hut. Collect fish in the nearest part of the river. Okay. Well, this looks to be maybe not a river, but a giant ocean. So I don't know if they can actually use that. So rather than risking the materials, we'll go with that. We are bringing in food again, so that's good. So anybody who's hungry, which is 6 people, hopefully can get some food quickly. Luckily, we did start with the gather, though, so we have at least some income on food. I suppose we could also tell our people to go hunt cows and such randomly, too, couldn't we? Better than starving. So since we're building a hunter, that's much more sustainable. But I'm going to go ahead and give the order to start hunting deer and such as well. Is there a mass order to do that? Construction tool, rock tree, upgrade, remove, or recent events. If I click and drag this, will that kill animals? Let me see if there's an animal around even. Well, I don't see any. Well, let's put on the highlight. Yeah, I can't tell whether or not that's going to kill them. So we'll just go ahead and give orders to kill all these animals at the start. And then we'll start with the pasture. So we're going to build a church. No, we're going to build a small area for maybe chickens, like a coop area for them. All right, I've designated a ton of animals to be wiped out for now. And then I think sustainably the hunter can actually maybe A, get more meat from them, and then B, maybe there's something where animals will be programmed AI-wise to walk by there and do a little bit more wandering into that territory. Okay, let's go ahead and get everybody off the jobs for now. What I'd like to do is focus solely on food, so I want everybody off of doing whatever and going to hunt and do construction. So that way we can keep everybody alive, or at least try to. We got 8 people out there. Only 6 of them, 4 of them have tools now, so either some of them are broken or maybe this is how many extras we have. That could be as well. So we might be able to have 4 more people join. If we take a look at people here, yeah, it looks like there's a tool icon next to all of them, so I'm assuming that means they all have tools. Look at that. Everybody here is like age 22, 23, 26, 7, etc. So a very young settlement here. Very young indeed. They could be attacked at any moment, so we got to be careful about those Vikings over there. That's what I'm going to say they are. Raiders. Okay, let's go ahead and continue to cut down trees. I want to back these away from the village. Similar to what we do in Valheim as well when we build in that game. Of course, taking a lot of trees in Valheim to then build your walls to keep everybody else out. There we go. And, of course, you can use this for construction material. Fantastic. All right, I see some movement down here. We got more people bringing wagons over. Kind of weird, though. You can't see if the wagon's full, so I always think to myself, like, wow, look at this champion. Oh, I thought this guy was pulling the cart and an extra log. Wow. Imagine being that strong. All right, here comes the hunter then. Yeah, food gathering is atrociously slow. It went from 3 to 0 just a moment ago. But at least we have less and less starving. We certainly don't want to face any deaths, but this will be, I think the learning curve on this will be similar to how it is in Banished. Your first playthrough of Banished, everybody expanded too quickly, did something that they didn't know they could or shouldn't have done, and had some bad times and or a complete failure. So the great thing about games like Banished is that they taught you that, even though you could build the fishing hut and even though you could build the hunter's cabin, it was more important to build a gatherer and also tell your people to manually start cutting down trees and or killing animals or even just like going for a berry bush or something. Actually, I don't know if that game has a berry bush, but to do things manually, to highlight an area and say, all right, cut down all these trees. Although this game does not allow for that, though. But that's why we got all this stone around, so that way we can kind of do things manually. But we still need to build the buildings for people to work in when eventually they work, or rather move in here. We got another 4 food, and I see no starving. I see nobody freezing or illness or thirsty. And we still got our 8 original people. So Raptor is doing it, ladies and gentlemen. It must not be me playing this. This must be a scam. This must be pre-recorded or something, because this is not like me to have not either gone into debt or had some sort of death at this point. But we try. We do what we do because we must. Well, now we've got 2 areas to cut down trees. I'm going to go ahead and make sure nobody's assigned there. Good. But these buildings are ready for when we have additional workers, and they'll continue to reforest this area. Great for hunting, too. We can put a hunter up at this other one as well and continue to hunt these lands, then cut down all these trees and fortify. So we'll have kind of a fortress area and then buildings and such on the outside. We could probably do some farming down here at the south, just on the edge here. Of course, they won't be able to replant in where the farm is, but that's still plenty of territory for them to grow trees otherwise. All right, well, we can do a little bit of planning. We can turn on the, let's see, we can make a farm and a pasture outside the farm or outside the city before we start farming. We don't have to turn it on, so I think what I'll do is build a farm field here first, somewhere near the town. Can we cut in with a tree? Oh, I see how this is going to be. Yeah, we click and then drag like that. Okay, so this is as big as your farm field can be. 3 people can then grow wheat, cabbage, pumpkin, flax, or onions. And then we can also do an orchard. So we've got ourselves the ability to produce, well, that's a generic symbol for pear, but it could be any fruit as well. Oh no, the farm actually shows what it makes as well. And then as for the pasture, it looks like it produces what would be meat, milk, maybe wool, animal fat, and something else. Maybe hides. That must be what it is for making shoes or clothing or the leather. That can be eventually made from there. Okay, we'll build ourselves a pasture here as well. Maybe we'll do like a little chicken coop or something right near the edge. If we could go ahead and manage to do something small here. What if we can work things at an angle? Oh, we can. Oh, nice. Let's do a nice little cliffside chicken coop. Something like that. And then we need to place a gate location. I guess we'll put it here. And then what we could do, of course, is with this warehouse, the nice thing in this game is that we can turn on and off all the different materials. So if, for example, inside the town we only want to have, like, for example, food, we could then have everybody store all the food inside the town, and then on the outskirts of town, maybe we could put construction materials for when we expand, or keep them inside or do a mix. We can also put things, for example, like swords here, so we do have some weaponry, so we can defend ourselves early. So if we want to make an armory and maybe make a little military section, like a barracks, and then guard tower next to it, and a storage for weapons and such, we can do that. It does look like the warehouse is limited in storage, so we got up to 2,000 with 340 taken. So those could fill up pretty quickly, especially if we're doing mining, logging, farming, tailoring. All that can go really quickly. All right, we're going to go ahead and have some people hunt. Looks like we can gather hides, wool, animal fat, and meat from that because we have everything on the list. Oh, is that wolves? Looks like we might have a threat from wolves at some point. Sheep, pigs, goats, cows, chickens, and boar. And then we can also have our people manually capture them for when we open up our things here. But let's change this to chicken. Of course, we can have meat, eggs. Oh, that's what that was. Eggs. I thought that was animal fat. Milk, hide. That must be the fat there, yeah. And then wool. Okay, cool. So we'll probably do cabbage and chickens for this first year when we get the chance. All right, food is up to 19. Great. We pulled out of a nosedive, and we're still kind of manually hunting these animals, but eventually they'll replenish, and we'll also probably wander into our areas, and then we can domesticate them. It'll only take a few animals to domesticate, so we'll be all right. All right, now only 9 trees remaining. A lot of authorization on trees to cut down. We also have a stockpile area here too, yeah, so we can store things inside the warehouse or outside. Stockpile, of course, good for all of your heavy materials, stone, cut stone, logs, lumber, bronze, and metal. So that's going to be pretty cool to be able to store that near a mine or near a logging camp if we want to. All right, I'm going to go ahead and continue to try to gather food. We need to try to gather as much food by the end of the day because, again, that's another month. So I'm going to go ahead and ask some people to continue to work on that stuff. We should probably then focus on growing the colony size. Thatched house looks like we have room for 2 more people in our colony. Or I guess our settlement or what is this building? Looks like a bunch of bags of flour on the ceiling. That is the... Oh, the hunter's hut. Really? Okay. Let's build another house. I'll go for the thatched hut this time. Yet another one. Oh, look at that snappiness. Nice. It didn't do that before. Wait, what? Is this the same structure? It is, but now they're allowing us to build like stairs going to the road. Okay. Maybe that changes because it knows it's near the road. That'd be a cool thing. A little far away from the farms, but honestly, I think if we can get 3 people at each farm, we could try to do maybe 3 farms, having 9 people working there. But again, that's an eventual dream when the population gets up there. But luckily, we're not as restricted by wood anymore. We have 0 wood, but we do have 2 forester buildings, so as soon as we can, we'll assign those people to do that. First and foremost, I'd say hunting deer and bringing all that back is good. Yep, there we go. Somebody just hunted that deer. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it's carrying like some meat back. Godwin Jesser, excellent work, dude. What is he carrying? Got shoes. Wow, some hustle there. Look at him go. Nice job, everybody. Well, food's definitely going into there. Oh, looks like we can upgrade buildings, too, within the menus. That's good. And there was an upgrade option for roads and such, too. So, upgrading, very easy. You can build a building, and then rather having to demolish it and then gather it again, you know, gather all the materials there and have everyone gather to build it, you can just do it easily. All right, winter is approaching. We're in May. I want to feel as if it's around the corner. I want to like be super cautious and prepare. There we go. We're going to cut down all these trees. Got to gather some more wood and more food. And again, now we're up to 10. Fantastic. Low amount of tools, so we got 2 left, so we can have 2 more people work for us. We can get up to 12 then, 12 workers. And a new family has arrived again. So that seems to happen. A free family with every new house. Wow, come on down. Dealing days. Okay, let's go ahead and get another cow. Alright, well, more people means more hungry mouths to feed, and that is both a good and a bad thing. More people to do the jobs, but zeroing out our food brings a few hungry. So hopefully very soon we can get them fed. Looks like there's also a I was going to say condition, but productivity for the gatherer. Very nice. Let's go ahead and put another gatherer next to the... let's see. Let's put another gatherer near the... maybe the forestry building up here. There we go. Alright, so they'll be able to gather plants and flax and other things. Mostly food, though. That's what we want. Easy food. Mushrooms, meat. Hopefully we can go ahead and have everybody assigned to gather more food. Good thing we chose to highlight the chickens. That's a fantastic option from the devs to be able to do that. And more people coming out to build buildings. Awesome. So it won't take much time for us to be able to build a kingdom, I think, here. More and more homes. It will take a while, but honestly, I think the longest thing will be putting a wall around it and defending it and working on our military. Because, of course, with the military, that's going to take a lot of recruits and a lot of people to support them, too, in terms of making tools and having, you know, a blacksmith and such working as well. And that means having multiple miners, too, inside the mines. Then we're going to have blacksmiths. And not to mention... if the mine itself, or rather if the blacksmith requires coal or charcoal or fuel to function, that's going to be a day. It's going to be a long day. All right, we can gather more stone. I don't know if there's a tool to actually not manually do this. It would be nice if there was just a tool like in Banished or many other Banished-like games where you can just kind of highlight and say, take all these stones, take all this iron. And then just have it all gathered. But in this case, we'll just continue to cut down. Not too bad on the wood. Alright. Oh, and look at the temperature at the bottom, too. It's 20 degrees Celsius, so we're not doing too bad heat-wise. That's, you know, pretty warm, considering, well, it is June, so making it through the summer. We have a few more months to prepare until winter. I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'm going to err on the side of extreme caution and assume by... probably late September, or rather just September in general, since this game doesn't simulate days, will be quite cold. So If we're ready by then, I think we'll be okay. Now, we're going to need a blacksmith then, but that first means we need a miner. And we could probably start doing trading at some point too, but we might require a boat. Maybe. Let's go ahead and build this mine then. Oh, it won't let you put... Oh, there's not a blueprint mode. Oh, darn. No blueprint mode. Lay sigh. So, we must have had the materials earlier and I just clicked early. A shame. Regardless, we now know. And sometimes it comes down to the more you know. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, good. Well, the fact that we've got food in the bank and everybody's fed again is pretty good. Clearing out the area around the village. Looking nice, though. You can then see what it would look like with a wall around it, some farms going, and then maybe some extra defensive turrets over here to prepare for the eventual invasion of the Vikings. Oh, boy. I'm just going to say they're Vikings. They're probably not. I mean, you know, they are, but they're not. We got, like, red shirts and orange shirts. They've now expanded their village. And that's a lot of dudes to defend against. Man, if you've seen some of the battles in Dawn of Man, that means like 30, 40 people are going to attack at the same time. Now, luckily, they don't have any sort of siege engines. So if we build a wall, it's probably going to be pretty hard for them to get through. Not to mention we have a Fletcher. So they'll create iron-tipped arrows. And we can also make, you know, bows from that. And put troops on the walls. And or guard towers and such. Not to mention we could have swordsmen and such too. So there's great potential for us to set up defenses. I just don't even want to start with a wall until we have enough material. I'd rather build an army first to be mobile. Alright, can we build this mine yet? Let's see. Yes, we now have enough materials. Funny how we have to have stone to build the mine. It's like, just mine in the ground. Well, we'll go ahead and build this over here. Oh, a merchant has arrived. Where is that? Oh, hello. Oh, interesting. I didn't know we would have a merchant on foot. So just like in Dawn of Man, and just like in Ostrave, a merchant will come to sell or buy goods. Well, we've got 12 copper. I don't know if we need that. We're about to build the mine, so why not sell some of our copper? Oh, she won't buy that. Okay. So she is buying cloth, wool, flour, herbs, clothing, and tools. And is selling meat, chicken, berries, tools as well. Okay. Bread and warm clothes. Well, of all of those things, I think the tools are the most important. So let's go ahead and buy... your silver... Oh, we have silver as well. We have a currency in this game. Interesting. If she wants cloth, I'll go ahead and sell that. So she wants 48 minimum. And we could sell up to 28, so I'm going to go ahead and sell it all, because we are gathering quite a bit from those gathering huts, and we're building a new one. So let's go with a few more tools, because that's going to be a lot. Big importance. She only has 7, okay. Let's see. We could buy some more warm clothing, since we don't have a tailor up. And buying 2 of those... Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the one on the wrong side here. Goes from 84... Oh, wow. Warm clothing is very expensive. That's a shame. Well, we'll go ahead and reduce the amount of cloth then that we're selling. Or we could increase our maybe sale of wool. I guess we have 18 because of the... because of all the hunting, I suppose. But I would much rather have our people warm. There we go. That's pretty close. 186 to 184. We'll leave a little tip. How about that? Exchange. That seems fine to me. So we are buying 7 tools and 2 warm clothing. Exchange. Thank you, ma'am. And I think we can send you away because I really don't think we need much else. Let's see. We have 15 herbs, 5 clothing. Actually, we have warm clothing now, too, so that's going to be all right. I would like to see a little bit more fanfare to when the trader arrives. It'd be cool if it were via ship, and then they have to make their way into your town and find their way up a roadway and through a gate. That'd be cool. Very nice. That's done in Dawn of Man. That's done in also, well, you can't do that in Austria, but you can have trade routes. What would be cool instead of that is having neighboring cities that you could trade with. That'd be cool. Oh man, no animals near the hunter. Well, the hunter might go outside this blue area. Maybe they'll leave that area. Looks like he's working at 16% efficiency. To be fair, we just slaughtered a ton of animals nearby, so I can't blame him. Alright, out of desperation, I want to build a fishing hut then. So let's go ahead and try one of these to see if it works. Looks like we can only build it... we can build it anywhere, but it might be a good idea to build it down by the actual ocean. See if it works. I don't think it's too terribly expensive, so it's an okay experiment. Yeah, 3. In the meantime, I'd like to add some more, oh boy, we got 10 people thirsty. That's fine, because we do have a well, which has 3940 water. Looks like it replenishes over time. Enemy approaching! Oh no. Oh, we are dead. No way. Can we get anybody prepared for... They're sending over a guy, a scout. A bro is coming over. We're about to have a full-scale, unmatched invasion. Oh my god. This is worse than that one Canadian meal that's doing the thing to the other thing. What is it, poutine? Being a pain in the ass right now? Yeah. That one. Alright, well what's going to happen? Enemy approaching... It appears to be one guy. I think we're lucky. He has a sword. Wow. Alright, Jason Statham has a sword, ladies and gentlemen. Jason, what are you doing with that sword? Oh, you know what I mean. No, Jason, I don't. Stay away. Okay. Well, we're going to have trouble. I don't know how we could arm anybody. Let's go ahead and pause real quick. We do have weaponry. Maybe at the sight of an enemy we could sound an alarm. Oh boy, this is not going to be good. Well, so much for me keeping everybody alive. I guess the only thing to do would be a barracks. But a barracks is a... Oh yeah, we don't have planks. We'd have to build the sawmill first. In this case, it would be... Well, it's probably around here somewhere, but yeah, just not enough time to build it. And maybe not enough people. Let's see if they'll beat his ass. Where is he now? Yeah, there he is. He's approaching the kingdom of RAPTORIA. Man. Like the first invasion ever. A guy having a beef. So now they're going to get revenge. Like, this guy's probably coming over for extortion. He's going to tell all of our people that we owe him money. Oh my god. Oh, look at this. The battle begins. Whoa, does she have a spear? Oh, she does. Oh no. Lark has killed in battle. F's down below in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a member, use those RIP emote tombstones. And if you're not a member, click or tap that join button and become a member today. Show support. Oh man. Well, an F in the chat for Lark. 1 down. Oh boy. It says 9 out of 3 here. What does that mean? Do we have 3 homeless? No, we can't. We have some openings. Oh, it must mean that we have 3 openings, maybe? Maybe. Oh, I feel bad now. Damn. Well, those Vikings are going to want revenge for their homie who just got popped, so this is going to be bad times. But what's going to be worse is if we all starve, so let's make sure. Man, Lark, what a hero. Jumping out with the spear, trying to kick that guy's ass. Lark weakened him. Hero. Alright, well, the mine is complete. Still having food trouble, man. I thought, you know, hunter's cabin, 2 gathers, and manual hunting orders would provide enough, but no, still not. Although it is providing a lot of cloth, so that's good for trading. I should have purchased meat. That's probably what I could have traded for. In retrospect, that would have been a good idea. Additionally, if anybody dies, which they will, more deaths, there will be more deaths. We'll just have to wait for more people to come in. I assume it's all based on happiness. At 88%, it's probably how it works in Stronghold, where the better your rating of your kingdom, the more often people will come and spawn in front of your castle, and then eventually have happy times. All right, looks like we got some illness here. Let's go for a healer's hut. We'll get some stone for it shortly. Hopefully I can put this down. We'll put that here across from the fire cutter. There we go. And I guess we'll get somebody working in the mine. So the nice thing about the mine is that we can do a mixed harvest, which means we can pull out copper, stone, and iron. But in this case, we'll just go for the stone since we're going to need it for some of our base buildings. Looks like we have more than enough stone. All right, let's get people. I'm going to go ahead and have... Oh boy, I don't really want to put anybody else on any other jobs aside from... Well, let's see if we can get some cabbage going. Pasture is going to be useless until we've got chickens. We can try to capture them, but we're going to start with farming cabbage. We're going to make sure all the gatherers are open. We're going to try to do foresters. Now, let's start saving up for the winter, so let's do firewood. Oh, are we out of people already? You got to be kidding me, really? I'll take one person off farming because the firewood's going to be important. There we go. All right, so we'll get some more firewood stored. Not sure how quickly this burns up, but that's exactly what we're going to do with trial and error. Because, obviously, just like in Banished, we all made those mistakes of either not having enough firewood or not knowing that we could trade it or not knowing about the merchant. But a good run this time, I'd say, in Bastide. Some great additional features, great additional buildings, and I'm really happy to see that the massive attack doesn't come all at once. They give you a little bit of time to prepare for it. So our people, if we can buy some better weapons, if we can build some walls, if we can get some archers, we'll stand a fighting chance, and we'll definitely be able to fight that enemy horde back. They now have 3 buildings, and look at the amount of activity here. If they attacked now, we are DED. We will die to death. That is a GG. There's no way we'd be able to withstand that with 9 people. We got to be smarter. We got to be faster and stronger than the enemy. We won't be able to outnumber them, so we'll have to outsmart them. Outlast them and outplay them. Survivor. I'm Jeff Prost. Thanks for watching, everybody. Everybody, have a fantastic afternoon, good evening, good night. I want to come on back for this game, so please do me a favor and smash the like button if you want to see more medieval city builder games here on the channel, more building games in general. If you love the live streams, if you want to see new games, let me know. Smash like and tell me anything that I may have missed down below in the comments section, either in this game or, of course, in upcoming games, other games you want me to check out, specifically city builders. I'll see you all next time. I'd love to do a full playthrough on this one as well, so consider your like a vote if you love democracy. Yeah, go ahead and vote now, and let me know you want to see more. I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for being here. Have a good afternoon, good evening, good night, folks. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.